Well, I've got a brand new FlyQuest jersey. Apparently, I can't see Curly right now, but apparently we're wearing matching jerseys.
We are.
There's a potential storm brewing outside. You can kind of see the trees moving behind me. So who knows? Knox broke his laptop right before the stream started.
Yeah, it's trash.
We were all saying how completely unprepared for this show we are, but here we are. It's FlightCheck, Season 1, Episode 19, I'm pretty sure. And you know what? We're here to have some fun and discuss some League of Legends, because you know what? Even when you go 0-3, there's always a chance for redemption. I'm Sandy Toes, 1/3 of the FlightCheck podcast, and to my left, mostly, are my co-hosts, Nox War and Curly Double Q. Fellas, how are we feeling tonight?
Well, I really, Nate would know this because he was there. I really wanted to make sure I was in the proper mindset for discussing an 0-3 weekend.
Yeah.
By myself going 0-3 live on stream today in my rankings, just so I could truly understand what needs to go right and then not go right and everything about it.
Right.
So I'm feeling very humbled. I don't know what's in the oven. I'm gonna be honest. In terms of
mystery hot take.
Mystery oven.
For all I know, I'm going to be sent hot takes like just through the ether. I have no idea, but yeah,
we'll see.
Interesting weekend. Weekend.
Yes. Nox, our resident Pick'em's guru. Move over, Prophet Cole. It's Prophet Knox in the house.
Did you see that they had like missing memes of Prophet Cole in their Discord earlier today?
Those were excellent. I truly enjoyed those. But Knox sitting up there in 4th place for Pick'ems. How does it feel?
Feels good in the sense that I'm in the top 4. Feels bad knowing that it's practically impossible for me to overcome in the first.
Right.
I literally have to have, I think it's 5 different picks compared to Nico, who's in first right now. And I have to have all 5 of those picks correct to overtake him. So I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to try, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's happening.
Man. Well, so 0-3 week. Rough. The best part is that Golden Guardians and CLG, I feel like I say this every single week now, but Golden Guardians and CLG are also bad teams, and we have managed to stay ahead of them for 8th place. So currently, as the way the standings shake out, FlyQuest sitting at 13-29, Golden Guardians 12-30, and CLG right behind them, 11-31. 5-game loss streak now for the new main roster after a hot start. After a 4-game win streak where we all got excited, and I might need to cancel my hotel in China. You know, it might Worlds might not be around the corner.
I was gonna say, what's your refund policy, Sandy?
So far, outlook not so good. I'll have to make something up with my credit card company. You know, stolen number, fraudulent activity, something like that.
Alternatively, we somehow in the next week get you a job on the World's broadcast team. So you have to be there. Anyway.
Perfect. Yes.
Honestly, I'll big brain Curly over here.
See?
Just like jump all of the barriers to entry of the field.
This is why we need you on the show, for these big brain takes that otherwise Nox and I just can't think outside the box on. We're just too tunnel vision.
See, my brain's in my hair, so like it's just always going to be.
His hair is full of secrets and big brain ideas, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, let's hop straight into the weekend. Team Liquid, the first game, Friday night. I came home. I was excited to see this matchup. Now, if I recall correctly, I predicted a win here. Curly predicted a win here. And Nox War predicted an L.
Did I predict beating TL?
I could be wrong. I might
No.
have that mixed up, in fact.
No, I knew we weren't going to beat TL.
Okay, that's reasonable. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, Aurelia, good champion.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Let me pulling up this match history right here. So the Camille, and the big thing in this game clearly was Kumo getting absolutely shut out of lane. Could not do a single thing, which was truly unfortunate. Alfari just getting so far ahead. The set pick here, I remember seeing in the Discord a little bit of consternation. And, it's 3 days later. I still don't like the pick. Nox, I mean, what were your thoughts seeing the set in the top lane going into the Camille?
It can be good, especially because it can be very disruptive with the set W as well as just the giant grit shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes it very hard for the Camille to lock you down. And so, I mean, like, the lane matchup is okay, right? But the problem is TL took the time to send resources top for Alfari, which is what I was kind of afraid of in this matchup, right? And so basically, we had the one gank top. We really forced that gank. Like, we spent a lot of resources for it, and we got the kill. But then what ends up happening is Armeo ends up going top and basically just does not let Kumo get anything. Like, he's being pushed off his wave. He can't farm at all. He even has a mistake later on where he goes too far forward and ends up getting killed again for it. And it was kind of a really dumb mistake, if I'm being honest. Like, he knew they were there, right?
Yeah.
And so it was just one of those things of just after that gank, it almost wasn't worth it. And then Armeo was like, okay, fine. I'm going to make sure Alfari needs to do what he needs to do because he's honestly, in my opinion, the best carry on the Team Liquid team right now.
Mm-hmm.
And basically just didn't let Kumo do anything. So I don't have that many issues with the set pick itself. I had more of an issue with how FlyQuest as a team decided to handle the pressure that was being shown top lane from Armeo and how they weren't able to respond to it properly.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, once again, early game was the big difficulty. And it's funny how that seems to be the issue for both this roster and the previous iteration. Gold differential at 15 is now, on average, now this is across the entire split, so let me just change that up to last 3 weeks. Please hold. We have got a number, negative 2,413. That is practically an entire item
That's
there.
At least 2 pieces of it.
Yeah, that's basically saying at 15 minutes, the other team is ahead an entire item. Now, if you are not a frequent League of Legends watcher, let me just note that is an insane power spike, and you're playing from so far behind that the game is practically unwinnable at that point. I mean, Curly, when it comes to solo queue, if you know that you're an item down against your lane opponent, I mean, what can you even do? You just sit under tower, right?
Gank the mid laner and flame the jungler is what you should always do.
Hey, don't flame the jungler. We do our best for you top laners around here.
And realize nothing mattered anyway because it was all decided by the bot lane. Whether
it's true,
whether they did well or not, it was, they still, like, you're in your island. But yeah, being at a gold deficit, not exactly fun. No. 65, maybe a ward down. Cool. 2,000. Oof. And I don't know. The thing about it is, like, when I watch this weekend, and I'll cover it more in the recap, is this just wasn't the issue the first weekend they popped onto stage. And so I'm curious as to, in this round robin, why it became that. But
yeah, Nox, I mean, when you see a number like negative 2,400 at 15, I mean, what does that say to you about where this team needs to step up, what we can do to avoid situations like that in the future? I mean, does it come down to drafting champions or being more proactive? How do you see that?
It's funny because we're still struggling in the early game, right? In which case, the reason we're struggling in the early game is different from the other from the academy team currently, or the old LCS team, however you want to phrase it.
Yeah.
In which case, the old LCS team had struggles with being able to have cohesion and being able to match map movements on top of being able to just be able to cohesively fight the opposing team. In lane, for the most part, they were pretty solid, right? They weren't ever really struggling too much. But now what you're noticing is a lot of these gold leads are coming from the lane itself, and basically a lot of the individual decisions being made in the lanes. And we're losing the lanes is what's really causing us a lot of our gold deficits. So at the end of the day, I think for this squad, it's just they as players are not as good, which is why they were originally academy players, right? I mean, FlightQuest had good scouting in that aspect. Players than the academy team, so we're going to put them in LCS, but unfortunately they didn't have good cohesion, and so after a certain amount of time, FlightQuest goes, okay, well, this team has cohesion, let's bring them up, and it goes to show, well, they're just not better players. So one way or another, I don't know how we want to do it, but we have got to figure out a way to get the good players mixed with the cohesion somehow, so that way we can start having performances on stage, because we can't have successful games without one or the other. Did I die?
No, you're good.
Sandy.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm here. It's just pouring rain outside, so I'm just
wasn't really sure.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't remember much of the TL VOD, if I'm being honest. I watched it earlier this afternoon.
It was a little painful. Yeah, I wish I could forget it, so.
To be fair, they were all a little painful.
Yeah, well, look, we got that nice ASMR.
Yeah. Hey, we can, if we want to do an ASMR podcast, just let me know.
And we are canceled. Show's over, everyone.
Right, great show tonight, folks.
It's on the podcast channel.
Yeah. Great show tonight.
No.
We'll see you all next week. So, Nox, Curly, I want to hear from you guys. Another one of you can take this. Clearly Alfari getting so far ahead on the Camille was a big issue. I believe the set was the final pick for us on red side. So we picked the set into the Camille. Do you feel like there's somewhere else we could have gone in regards to top lane? Let me remind you what the bans were. So we had Gwen, Renekton, technically Olaf, because Adam in LEC has played Olaf top lane. Viego and Gangplank were banned out. So, I mean, were there any other options that we could have taken into this top lane matchup?
Poppy.
Yeah, I
take Poppy.
I agree with the Poppy. The only thing you have to be careful with is, I don't know if Kumo has the experience on it or not, which is probably the reason why they didn't pick it. But yeah, you pick Poppy into this comp, oh my god, Poppy's going to have a field day, right?
Yeah.
Camille can't... Well, and then on top of that, they also have Irelia and Leona. She can just say stop.
Literally every single one of the champs outside of Varus, and even then, I think Varus bought Prowler's Claw that game. So literally, she could have stopped all 5 champions at any point.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been beautiful. Oh, I would have loved to have seen that.
So, and then
I would say the Poppy, but I think the set. I really do think the set is not a bad pick here. I think it was just
a good pick into Camille.
Yeah.
And then another pain point I felt was the Rumble in the jungle. This champion was notorious for the last several patches, but by all accounts is no longer a top tier jungler. The Diana had been banned out. Xin Zhao obviously banned. Viego and Gwen as well. So jungle options were somewhat limited, and we did need a source of AP. So
I'm gonna throw this out there, but Lilia was buffed on 11.4.
I was about to say.
I was gonna say Lilia too.
Yeah, where was the Lilia pick? I feel like that should have been the Diana was banned in this game, but
sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, the Lilia. I firmly agree that I feel like the Lilia would have been a fantastic pick here.
Because
I also want to backtrack.
Yeah.
Poppy, good pick. Kennen?
Okay.
Probably would have been spicy into Camille. Would have added some AP. Would have added some range, which would, like, he'd be able to poke the hell out of Camille. And if Fed Kennen, one real good alt, can mess some people up in some team fights. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So Kennen might have been a good one, too.
No, I firmly agree. And then, multiple, other issues in this game. Saw a lot of, like, whiffed ulties, bad engages, just, things didn't work out, and it was a bit of a run over. Nox, you had something you wanted to bring out?
Well, I just, again, emphasizing the Lilia pick, because the other thing is Rumble doesn't offer all that much CC, and if you look at our team comp, the only real form of CC you have is the Thresh, who skill shot CC, and then the Set, if you can get the angle and an ultimate on it, right? And so I think the Lilia here would have just added levels upon levels of depth to our comp, just due to the CC aspect that she would have had, on top of it still being AP. So I think that's just a really big oversight for a lot of LCS teams, not even just FlyQuest, but mainly FlyQuest right now, since we're looking at this TL game. So, yeah.
Yeah. The Aurelia by game end was just impossible to kill. We just tried so hard. We could not get that Aurelia down. And this is a good segue moment for me to say an interview that I did with Loyota was recorded straight after this matchup. And you know what? That interview will be played after the show tonight, so you can hear when I ask him what he thinks went wrong in that game. Because he does give a nice little 1 to 2 minute answer about where he thinks things went. So be sure to stick around after the show. We'll be transitioning straight into that interview. Is that pretty much all we've got for the TL game? Do we want to move forward?
For the TL game, outside of the fact that I feel like the league gods were punishing me for my the fact that I don't like Jensen. That's about it. Because I'm sitting here literally before the game. I'm like, I don't respect Jensen. He's not that good of a mid laner. And then he comes out and he has like a 10-1-3 game on Irelia. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. Classic, of course. Next. Right? Yeah, go next. All right, Cloud9, the Saturday game. This was the fun one where we got to bust out a little bit of a different look. Triple with the Malzahar into the LeBlanc.
Specifically the Bizahar. It's important
specifically the Bizahar. I really want to shout out Triple for dropping the Bizahar skin onto the Rift. I thought the most hilarious thing, I did not realize this about the Bizahar skin, when he ults somebody, he's just straight up spraying them with honey. And that's how he suppresses them, is he just literally sticks them in place with honey. I think that's fantastic.
Oh, that is excellent.
I think that's an incredible move. So, the Malzahar into the LeBlanc. We let the Xin Zhao come through. It was interesting to see, Nox, I want to get your opinion on this. We banned Irelia first ban on red side. Didn't bother to ban the Gwen or Viego. We end up taking both the Gwen and Viego, but the Irelia ban, I was like, is this because of what happened yesterday? Do we just not want to play against Irelia anymore? I mean, how did you feel like this draft went?
So the Irelia bans for actually both this match and the next match, because it's banned in the Dignitas match too.
Yeah.
I actually think are legitimate bans, because Perks can play a very mean Irelia, and I'm sure after the thumping that they got from Jensen, who does not strike you as a typical Irelia player, you actually play someone who can play Irelia, you're going to put the respect ban on it. And so I'm okay with the Irelia ban, at least for this one. The Yusui one, probably a little more debatable. I don't know if you really needed to. But at the end of the day, I don't think it really mattered, because they went with such a weird, bizarre pick in the Kindred mid. But Yeah, for this one, at least for the Cloud9 match, I'm kind of okay with the Irelia ban. Because Perks is actually a very good Irelia. And then you were also asking like my thoughts on the draft itself.
Yeah. So hang on, let me. I keep getting distracted by thunder and lightning going on outside. So if I suddenly
really hope we
disappear
keep you,
from the
Sandy.
podcast, you will all know exactly why that is. So yeah, we get the Gwen and Viego. We kind of, I believe we traded letting Cloud9 have Xin Zhao first pick, and then we take the Gwen and Viego in response. So that's nice, theoretically, right? Two very powerful champions right now. And then the Callista Leona into Tristana Rakan. And again, Leona into Rakan, a counter matchup. So my struggle here with this game, and Curly, I want to hear from you on this, on your thoughts here too, is we got two of the most powerful champions, Gwen and Viego. Mm-hmm. We got the Leona counter into Rakan, and we got the Malzahar counter into LeBlanc. I will say Perks in his interview afterwards, like, yeah, I don't think it's as good of a counter anymore. Maybe he was just memeing on us per usual, but multiple counters, two really powerful champions. What went wrong? How do you not win with this?
Our bot lane did not get the win conditions that they needed to with champions like Callista and Leona into a Tristana Rakan. That is a bot lane that we should absolutely wreck and destroy, and we went even in it. That is the main issue that I have with this.
Okay, so would you have rather I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry. Would you rather have seen us go for proactive ganks in bot lane rather than focus elsewhere, as such we did? Or would you have rather them just be more aggressive in the bot lane, look for the 2v2 kill, look to, single out the Rakan or jump on the Tristana? How would you have played that?
So, yeah, go Curly.
If you ask me, I think the big thing is NXI is just getting stretched thin. I don't think it's like there's a lot of ways you can try to play this, but NXI has to be everywhere, and he can't be because the teams I think are taking this roster more seriously now. They keep applying pressure to the solo lanes effectively, and like have stepped up their game in the bot lane, and so they're really making it difficult for NXI to just be an effective jungler. So especially they had a great start in this game where we got the early buff from stealing it from them, stealing the red buff, and then almost killing Perks right off the bat. And they just turned it around by just being a lot cleaner and then eventually just making more picks. And I think that's why we can't really focus ganks on the bot lane as much, because if we do, then they're just going to keep focusing Kumo. And because Kumo gets bullied a lot these last 2 weeks, at least from what I noticed. And that's why he's struggling to be as present as he was before.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier of just right now as individual players, the players on this team are not quite up to the caliber of the rest of the high-end LCS, right? And so a lot of these matches, it's just we're losing the lane, and we're not getting like the matchups, we're not getting the wins in the areas on the map that we need to actually be able to get to the mid to late game, which is where this team thrives. And it sucks. It is what it is. Obviously, the guys just need more time to practice.
Yeah, it feels like it's less of a synergy cohesion issue, because clearly that is there, and we saw that in that early 4-game win streak.
Dude, even in some of the losses, like we still show great cohesion.
Yeah, cohesion, proactivity, everything you could want from a young team. But yeah, again, I feel like, to go back to the earlier point about the early game and the goal differential at 15, that's one tool that you can use to look at it. But if you also look at the early game rating for the squad, it's 28.7. That's the lowest in the league. I mean, the next closest is Counter Logic Gaming at 36, and then everyone else kind of hovers, around 50, 55.
I'd be curious to see if you took the comparisons of this team and the original FlyQuest team and looked at their early game ratings and the differences.
All right, hang on. I'm going to do that right now.
I'd like to see what the difference is in terms of early game rating between the two squads.
Sure, let's do it.
It's currently being processed.
Stats. Ahoy. All right. The team. So the other roster was 36.5. So literally a 10-point difference, but still, frankly, awful in comparison to the rest of the league. So there's that. Now, if you want to know what early game rating means, let's just define that a little bit better. So this is a statistic from Oracle's Elixir, Tim Sevenhusen, complex modeling, basically. So early game rating is centered at 50, with scores higher than 50 being stronger and lower than 50 being weaker. 60 or higher is very good. A rating of 40 or lower is very poor. And then for mid to late rating, a mid-late rating of plus 15 or higher is very good, while negative 15 or lower is very poor. So 26.8 is worse than very poor.
Oh, no.
That's rough. I'm sorry, that's rough. And then the mid to late rating for the squad is 15.7. So that's good. That's actually very good. According to this statistics. So it's weird because it's this dichotomy of atrocious early game and game.
Uh-oh. Did we lose power?
Oh, no.
I'm good.
Okay, we're good.
We're good.
Welcome to the tech issues show.
Yeah, welcome to the things that go bump the night show. All right, so that was a lot of statistics right there. All that to say, early game, awful. Mid to late game, actually pretty good if we can get there.
So what does that mean? What do we need to do?
So what does that mean? Get better at early game.
Specifically for this team, get better at laning and be better individual players, which, I know that's me saying it as a gold player, but I mean, if we want to see this team succeed, that is what it is. We need to see them do better in lane.
I mean, Curly, how would you, if you were going to try to improve your early game, I mean, what would be some things that you would try to do, right? Think in terms of a coach, what would be some things you try to, coach your players on getting better at? Not saying that these are specific FlyQuest things to work on, but, concepts, basically.
I mean, when I'm trying to work on my early game, which if I'm being honest, I think is personally also rather shit right now. So I definitely need to work on it. It comes to just knowing when to trade, how to maintain a good wave manipulation, keeping the pressure on, but even if you're playing weak side, always have the advantage or be prepared to just snap back at them. Those are the things I try to improve on as a top laner specifically. And knowing where your jungler is, all that, those are a few major things you just want to keep focusing on the early game, so that you can be prepared for, all right, it's my turn to have let them push in, so then NXI can come up and we can delete them, and then we can turn it around, push in the wave, crash it, go get the Herald, all that. Or be prepared, or at least be prepared for a fight, because of course it's never going to be not never, but seldom going to be so simple.
Right.
Because Perks is going to TP in, Jensen's going to TP in, someone's going to TP in, something's going to go crazy, or maybe the support was Roman and you didn't realize it. But those are just the few things I think I would focus on, and maybe that's what they need to do.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we'll have to find out next week if some of these early game issues can be fixed. Because the thing is, I mean, even in if I'm thinking correctly, of the Team Liquid game, could possibly be the C9 game, but we went for a late invade on the red buff. I think it was the Team Liquid. It was C9. Yeah, we went for a late invade on the red buff. NXI is able to smite it away, and he's level 2, starting up his camps. Like those are advantages that we should be translating to early ganks and building up. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're, already up to level 2, if you're a level 2 Viego, right, and you've got a Callista Leona bottom lane that you want to punish the bot lane fast and early, level 2, get that level 3, and then come on down. Let's go for a gank. Let's go for an early play. Make something happen. And after seeing a team that was super proactive for a while, it felt a little frustrating to not see them take that lead and do something with it. Knox, you look like you got something to say. Bring it on.
I was going to say, to play devil's advocate here.
Sure.
From my readings and my understandings of how that bot lane should work is you shouldn't even need to have any outside resources be given to the bottom lane when you have a lane like Callista Leona. Especially into something like a Tristana Rakan. Like that lane should be shoved in 24/7 under tower, like trying not to die. That is naturally how that 2v2 works. And so FlyQuest drafting this probably has a thought process of, okay, we have priority. We should not ever be losing this lane. We can go send NXI wherever else we need him to, aka the top lane where Kumo's been struggling recently, and get him ahead on the Gwen versus a Gnar, which that Gwen hard wins later on versus the Gnar, but loses early versus the Gnar. So I can see the thought process, but it just the bot lane didn't show up that game. Like that game, I really like. NXI has its own issues, but like that game is really, really on the bot lane. Like, and I know they didn't really have any egregious big stuff happening, but like that game is really on the bot lane for us.
For sure. Curly, any final thoughts on the C9 game before we move forward?
I mean, less to say about FlyQuest and more to say about I think C9's kind of waking up again. And so if we do make it into playoffs and we eventually have to face them, I really hope we wake back up too.
I agree. All right. So after playing TL and C9, we had officially played the top 5 teams in the LCS. So you would think things would start to get a little easier. We're heading on down towards the bottom half of the standings. And we run into the yellow and black Dignitas.
In our final date of the year.
And in our final date of the year, correct. I don't know if any of y'all have seen this, but Dig and Fly have a little bit of a Twitter romance going on. It's very cute. Dignitas, a team hovering around the 500 mark all season long for the most part. A team that you would think is beatable. And all of us, I believe, predicted the Fly W here. Yep. So, Kindred Mid, though, had something else to say. I think my favorite part of the broadcast that night was when Hai and Emily Rand are standing there doing like this really intense, we're going over draft, looking at it, inspecting it, analyzing it carefully, and then Kindred Mid comes out and they're just like, yeah, we don't know anything about this. And they just, they're just completely, they're about as lost as we are. And that felt good to know that even the LCS broadcast folks can lose their place from time to time. But this game, I mean, give me your thoughts here, fellas. I mean, this was a match.
This was draft. Well, no, it's not just draft diff.
But it was a big draft diff. I wonder. I wonder which garbage can they pulled this draft out of. Because it must have.
Someone open the oven. Where's the oven at?
So, check that oven, baby.
It must have been like next to the garbage can that Dig pulled theirs out of, but like just full of more trash.
Right.
Because I despise the bot picks. I don't like that we picked Kog'Maw or Tahm Kench, much less both of them together.
Mm-hmm.
Tahm Kench in a support role now is just kind of a soft int, if you ask me. His kit is a lot more made to be a solo laner now. Like, that was literally the whole purpose. And another thing is, I think I heard, who is it, Crumbs and Pastry Times that were casting? Yep. I think I heard them mention at one point that Diamond just wasn't quite using his W's effectively. And I kind of agree with it. And I think Diamond's a great support player. I do like him. I think he cleaned up his issues from spring and all that. But from what I saw yesterday, it doesn't seem like he's had much time on the new Kench. And it showed. I think into Draven Leona, we obviously got the Callista band, and because Tomo's pretty good on Callista, so we couldn't have picked Callista. But Tristana was wide open. I think Tristana might have been a good pick. Heck, someone we haven't seen in a while that I think would be really good is like a Kaisa or Samira. They're pretty reliable, like, hyperactive ADCs that if you get them fed, they're a monster for everyone. Like, just... So, ADC, the Kog'Maw, I hate. The Tahm Kench, and I don't know, if we could have gotten Nautilus, we could have gone for maybe a mage support, because we already had a tank in the form of Gragas, you know? Just a few other things. And then Gragas is another thing I have the issue with. I know he's kind of been peeking his way into the jungle recently. I still don't like it. I don't feel it's terribly effective. It was just rough.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we let Gwen get first picked on the blue side? Bro.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
If you're not going to pick it on the blue side, ban it. It was silly. That's... Oh.
All right.
Oh.
Very good. Nox, any rebuttals or agreements or
I've actually got a couple rebuttals on this.
Ooh, bring it on.
So
podcast debate. Let's go.
Let it be known though, I have all this. I agree on everything about the Tahm Kench. The Tahm Kench is a terrible pick. There's nothing I can say to defend this Tahm Kench pick. It is actually correct when Curly says, what garbage can did they pull this pick out of? It is bad. Okay? However, the Kog'Maw here actually can be good into this Draven Leona lane. And the reason for that is the extended range on Kog'Maw's W allows him to poke down the Leona and the Draven very, very effectively. And it actually allows the bot lane of Kog'Maw to have priority in it if you can spend it correctly. Like, if you play both matchups perfectly, the Kog'Maw wins it through poke, and it doesn't allow the Draven to actually get any lane pressure in. Problem is, when you pair it with a Tahm Kench, it doesn't matter, and it does jack all, right?
Yeah.
So the Kog'Maw's fine, but you needed to pair it with something else outside of the Tahm Kench. Curly talking about doing like a Nautilus or even a mage support. I was gonna say let's go Juggernaut. Juggernaut works just fine here because it has even more poke. It makes sure that it's very difficult for the Leona to stick onto the Kog'Maw. It can CC the Draven if need be, or it can even speed up the Kog'Maw if he's hunting him down. Like, there's a lot of opportunity here for the Lulu to do great here. And it doesn't even have to be the Lulu. It could be anything else, but the Tahm Kench without the Devourer anymore is just not a great support champion anymore. So,
I mean, there's a reason why Blaze Olive has started playing it in the mid lane, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. The other thing is I realize I keep looking at my mic and not at the camera. Anyway, yeah, no. Kog'Maw pick, good. Tahm Kench pick, really, really bad. Gragas pick, what pick was it exactly? Can you guys tell me? I'm struggling to look it up right
now. Gragas into Volibear.
Yeah, like what pick?
Yeah, hang on. It It was our third pick on blue side. So it went Viego, then they took Gwen Draven, and we took Lucian Gragas. They went Leona. And junglers that had been banned before that were just Xin Zhao and Diana. So there was a lot open. There was so much open at that moment.
I don't mind the Gragas, and here's why I don't mind it. Draven is a very immobile champion, and if you mess up once in your positioning, that Gragas flask is going to send you flying right towards the enemy team, and it's game over. Granted, I can't say this is smart drafting from FlyQuest, but technically the Gragas is very good into the Kindred, but basically they counterpick themselves in that, so it's not benefit to FlyQuest. It's more of like, what are you doing, Dignitas? But clearly it worked out. But yeah, Gragas is good against the Draven and the Kindred. It can displace both of them, and it can really heavily punish them both. So I actually don't mind the Gragas picks here so much, but clearly it wasn't used effectively, and I think that has more to do with NXI as a jungler and less as the champion of Gragas. Outside of that, the only other thing I really need to highlight on this match was Lucian should absolutely dominate the Kindred in lane. Ended up losing the lane. Yeah. That is not expected. That shouldn't happen. And basically, a lot of that is just like, how did we let the Kindred get away with that? There's no reason the Kindred should have gotten away with that. So yeah,
I can tell you how the Kindred got away with it.
By all means, go ahead.
We kept giving Kindred the red buff.
Yeah,
that is how Kindred got away with it. They played two junglers and had two junglers jungling half the time. It's like a year ago when I was first starting to play ranked, I was able to clear about half of Silver 4 by spamming Kayn top because it was kind of busted at the time. And then if I got fed, you had another jungler just roaming the map. We've got a frozen Nox war.
Got a frozen Nox.
I stunned him so much with my rebuttal.
With his rebuttal.
It's showing fine on mine. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just frozen on the stream. I don't know why that is.
Give me a sec. Right. Keep talking.
Yeah, we'll keep stalling for time here. Yeah, I mean, I can't get over the Tahm Kench support. That's my big issue. My biggest issue with the draft. I mean, look, we can talk about the Kindred mid all we want, right? That's not something that we're going to be able to predict and ban out, right? So like that's on Dignitas. That's their pick to make, right? So we can only control what we draft and what we ban. And I just don't like the Tahm Kench. I mean, you see Kog'Maw Lulu a lot. I feel like Lulu might have been a decent option there. If you're looking for other tanks, I don't know if Nautilus is a good support to pair with the Kog'Maw, but there were other options there. I just don't think that Tahm Kench was the way to go. Bit of a frustration and bit of a scuffed video on the stream right now. Hang on, it's coming.
God, there we go. We're back. We're back.
You were just in between both.
It's still okay. There we go. It's fixed.
It was just your shoulders for a bit there.
We're good, fellas. All is well. If you are just listening to the audio version of this, you've missed a lot. Mostly just video.
Mainly Nox just struggling with technology tonight. It's been a rough night for me.
And Nox speaking in the third person. So
and SD Nox returning.
Literally.
Yeah, breaking his laptop. You know what it was? Man, you gotta stop playing TFT right before stream.
I know, I was raging too hard.
And then when you don't get top 4, I mean, stop smashing your laptop on your desk, dude. Like, come on. That's
dude, I lost to a person playing 8 Hellions. I was upset, okay?
That's
no, that makes sense. Hellions are busted. Yeah. I played one TFT match this entire whatever they're called. Played Hellions only. Second place.
That's riot toxicity right there for you. Okay, Dignitas, that was a game. Anything else we want to bring forward before we move on to the next topic of conversation?
Individual game-wise, I got nothing.
Lovely. Curly?
Uh,
It's okay to say no.
I think we're in an abusive relationship with Dignitas.
Oh boy. Well, we're not gonna
we
explore that one.
We went on 5 dates with them this year and lost all of them.
Yeah, well, clearly this relationship is not working out, and for our mental health, we should probably abandon it.
Yeah.
The other things that have been abandoned, Vision. Knox, I believe that you have some statistics you would like to pull up about about Vision's score. So why don't you take the floor for a little segment that we're calling Knox's Nostradamucal narking. I don't know.
I was gonna say, if you pull this out of your ass right now, I'm gonna be impressed.
What?
Anyway. Oh
wow.
God, I don't even know how to follow that up right now.
Just ignore. Pretend you give me the best intro, and here's the best setup to a segment ever.
Anyway, so once again, I would like to bring up the issue of vision with this team currently, specifically with the issue regarding NXI. So currently I'm looking at Oracle's Elixir, and if you go pull up all the jungle stats for, yeah, you are sorry, Sandy, I see you, right in chat. If you go to Oracle's Elixir and you look up all the junglers in the LCS that have played currently this split, right? And you scroll over to wards per minute and wards cleared per minute. And if you go look, you'll see that Santorin is currently ranked, granted he hasn't played that many games, or Jose Diodo. These are the top two people. Santorin and Jose Diodo have the top most cleared wards put down out of any jungler in the LCS currently. The next highest is Xerxes, who actually has all the games played currently. These people have, and I'll rank them, Santorin has 0.68 wards placed per minute. Jose Diodo had 0.53 wards placed per minute. And then Xerxes, who has been the most consistent playing jungler in the LCS right now, has 0.52 wards per minute. So basically, they're putting down a ward every 2 minutes. Is usually these top guys.
Oof.
That's Jose Diodo, by the way, who hasn't played in here for a while. And even this was also on a losing team. So it goes to show that our vision was probably pretty solid via Jose. I would like you, however, to scroll to the bottom of said list, and you will see that NXI is third from last with 0.27. And the reason I highlight this is because the past 6 games now, Jose Diodo has probably had the worst vision score out of anyone in the game. Anyone, even on his team and even against the opposing team. And I began wondering why that is. And so I started putting on the statistics. I started looking at map movement where I can. Unfortunately, I'm not smart enough to point out reasons why map movement is not giving him the vision score he needs. However, it is consistent in these past 6 games that he's not placing down that many wards. And so also at the same time, if you look at the wards cleared per minute, guess who was number 1 earlier on in this split? Jose Diodo. He had the most wards cleared at 0.42 per minute. And then you had Svenskeren at second, who hasn't been full-time because contracts has been sharing a little bit of time with him. The next highest is Spica, who has played every game at 0.38. NXI, you guys want to guess where he is?
I'm going to go with bottom 2.
Curly?
I'm going to go with bottom.
Curly, you were correct. He is
technically, we were both correct.
Technically, you're both correct, but Curly's more on the nose. So NXI is actually the worst ward clearing jungler in the LCS right now. I am not smart enough or good enough at League to tell you why that is, but that is a huge issue currently. That NXI is both the third worst ward dropping jungler in the league and the worst ward clearing jungler in the league. Words. Something in that aspect needs to change. I don't know how you do it. I don't know what coaches need to say to him. I don't know what analysts need to say to him. But a lot of our issues, I feel, are stemming from the fact that NXI is not getting proper ward vision for FlyQuest and proper ward denial vision from the opposing teams. Once that is solved, I think a lot of the early game issues currently may actually disappear if we get that figured out, because it's going to be harder for the jungler on the opposing team to make plays, and it may be easier for us to make informed decisions. So coming into the next week, I really, really want to emphasize, and I'll emphasize this in the weekend forecast as well, I really, really want to emphasize seeing what NXI can do with his vision and the way he passes around it and what he does with his wards. I really, that is my big thing that I'm watching the next 3 games.
Curly, I think I was going to ask you, Curly, do you feel like that might be a mindset thing where he's just not used to going for as much vision or clearing it out, or like more of a technical thing where, he's just not again, he's just not thinking about it? Like, is there do you feel like there's a direct explanation for that maybe? Or, I mean, how do you see what's going on there?
Well, I know that personally, and granted, I'm not not an LCS player, obviously, but personally, when I am struggling in matches and I'm frustrated with why am I letting this thing happen so much? Like, why am I losing this camp to this? Why am I losing these trades? Why am I doing this? My mind personally goes to focusing on getting myself a better item, not getting a ward. Like, I might buy it if I'm like, all right, I should get a ward, but I get that blindness of how can I improve my personal stats? So that might be the same thing that's happening to him. He might be feeling like he's behind, even though he isn't used to that, because he was stomping in Academy, had the great first weekend when he climbed up to the LCS, and now that's not quite there. So maybe he's just trying to improve his personal mechanics, and the vision is just getting pushed to the side. And so he needs to realize, hey, maybe I do need to purchase these wards more, and I need to get a sweeper more so I can clear out this vision. So, because it's not, they won't know where I am, and I can use that to steal their resources and then get a better item and then get ahead of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we know that vision is an integral part of the, professional league scene. Yeah, if you're a jungler, getting those wards, clearing out those wards, I mean, that's, almost your number one priority, sometimes. Most of the time it is, if not, farming up and going for some ganks and securing objectives. Vision is super key. Anything else we want to hit on that before we move forward?
I mean, I got my big point out.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move towards next week, the final week in LCS, week 9. It all comes down to this, folks. A lot of playoff spots, while secured, actual seeding is still kind of a mix. We could see something crazy where, Cloud9 and Evil Geniuses leapfrog both TSM and 100 Thieves for that 1 and 2 spot. All kinds of crazy shenanigans could happen. Nothing is really solidified, except really for, 5 or 6 teams being in 5 teams being up there for the upper bracket. Dig and Immortals still kind of jockeying for 6th place. And then the 3-horse race between us, Golden Guardians, and CLG for the final playoff spot. Let's move into our scheduling. We are playing the 3 worst teams besides us in the LCS next week. Not in that order. I believe we start the week playing Golden Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Did it change?
No, it's GG Immortals, then CLG.
Yeah.
So actually it did change, because I know this because I make the pick'ems. So originally it was Immortals, then Golden Guardians, and then CLG.
Oh, interesting. Because when you and I did the show last week, Knox, I'm pretty sure Golden Guardians was the first matchup.
It may have been that way last week, but when I originally, at some point, it did change, because like if you go look through my pick'ems, that's how it's ranked.
Yeah.
LCS, what plans are you making?
I know, right?
What script are you writing? Okay, so this final week is a doozy. Well, do we want to bring up our picks for the week on stream? Is that where we want to go with this?
Yeah, send it.
Let's do
All
it.
right,
Let's send it, baby.
I forgot to change the image earlier, so hold on.
All right, we will.
Yeah, so 3-0 against Evil Geniuses, 100 Thieves, and whoever else we were playing that week is what's going to happen right now, right?
Yeah, I think
that makes sense.
All right, hang on.
That's how we lose. That's how we end the split. There we go. Bam.
All right, sweet.
So for the first time in FlightCheck history, or at least since we've started putting these on the stream, we all have the same opinion.
We are
holy crap
aligned, ladies and gentlemen. The alignment has taken place.
And this might be the ultimate prophecy, if that is the case. Move aside Prophet Cole. It is Prophet FlightCheck, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's an interesting slate. So we're all saying that we beat the two teams under us and lose to the team above us. Kind of tracks with how things have been going recently. But let's hit each game turbo fast. Let's sprint it. Golden Guardians, they looked really good for a hot minute with the new Licorice Edition. And now, after suffering an 0-3 week themselves, everyone's kind of sold their stock. Golden Guardian stock is selling fast. Jump on that train if you bought points there. Knox, why are you feeling a dub against GG? A GG against GG, one might say.
I think the bot lane of Golden Guardians has not been that great. I think 6A has made some oopsies along the way on random points throughout various games. So I think even individually, even though our bot lane, well, honestly, most of our players have been struggling individually, I don't think it's that big of a matchup difference. I think Triple is more than enough to handle the Blaze Olive. I think that should be a fairly even standard matchup. Iconic is still not that great. He's not as bad as he used to be earlier on in the year. He actually has improved, which is great. But I don't think he is going to be doing anything super crazy to where NXI is going to struggle versus it. The only thing I'm actually worried about is Licorice versus Kumo, because Licorice has still looked really, really good in lane. Hopefully Kumo can hold the ground, but I think the rest of the map should be more than enough in favor of FlyQuest that I think this could be a dub for us.
Best breakup of all time. Licorice suddenly getting better. Curly, how are you feeling about this Golden Guardians game?
More nervous than I would like to be. Because this was actually one of the games when I was this was the longest it took me to do any pick'ems today. I did a lot. I brought in a lot of stats. I brought in a lot of things. I did a lot of contemplation of just like what I remembered from this weekend. And one thing that does have me scared is in this round robin, Golden Guardians is 2-4 and we are 1-5. And Golden Guardians one of Golden Guardians wins was against Evil Geniuses, who are pretty scary.
I might say they are pretty good.
Yeah. And so and they beat Dignitas, two teams which we have lost to this like very recently. So it's not as confident as I normally am when facing Gold Guardians. If you want me to be real here. But I just pray that history repeats itself and we just keep being better. Yeah. I really don't have anything to say about why we will win. I'm just going to say we will.
No, I mean, I think, I think it's I'm actually going to say it's a jungle gap.
Fair.
I'm going to say jungle gap. I think Diamond is superior to Chime. I think Tomo, if not Stixay's equal, he's pretty up there. I think I like the matchups here. And clearly, I think Golden Guardians is on a downward slope right now, and this could be the game we need to turn things around. All right. Immortals, we all predicted the L. For my part, Immortals on the upswing. They look good. They look hot. Any team playing them in playoffs better watch out because they could either 0-3 or they could 3-0 you. It's depending on the day. Immortals is going to be a tough team. I don't really foresee a dub coming through on this one. Curly, starting with you, how do you feel this match will go?
Immortals went back to how they were at the beginning of summer. Something happened in the second round robin. Maybe the meta didn't favor them. Maybe they were having some organizational issues. I don't know. But maybe having Dardoch as a coach is really working out.
Dardoch coach buff confirmed. 400 CS hack.
The toxicity buff.
Potentially. Like, yeah. I don't know, maybe he just like yelled at revenge or something. I don't know, like just something. He's just like, stop being trash, and they were like, okay, fine.
All right, sure, fine.
Jeez, okay, dang. But also, if you look at this here, they are, if the summer split was accounted how it normally would be,
yeah,
they would be in a 3-way tie for 4th.
Yeah, they're actually like a top half of the league club team.
Mm-hmm.
They are. They would be tied with C9 and TL, which, if you ask me, C9's kind of like, I don't know where they are anymore.
I mean, that's decent company to be in. So
yeah, it's decent company to be in. But yeah, they're just looking pretty scary. I think in my pick'ems, I could be wrong. I think I have them 3-0 again. Across, like in the grand pick'ems, not just here.
Yeah, I haven't looked at pick'ems for the whole week. Nox, Immortals, why are we taking an L in your humble opinion?
So there was a reason why I wanted to highlight the vision score earlier, not just because like I think it's a really big detriment to the team right now, but also for this matchup because I think it's the one that we'll lose this weekend. In which case, I highlighted earlier that Xerxes was the third best warding jungler in the league currently, and he's the one who's actually played the most games because the other two haven't played the most games. So those, I don't know if you really should count those stats. So if you want to ignore those top two, technically he's the number one warding jungler in the LCS currently. And that is a huge stylistic matchup difference to what NXI is. And that's going to be a huge benefit towards Immortals as a team versus us. So I think this is going to be a jungle gap for us. I think Xerxes is probably going to have his way with NXI, and it's not going to be a fun time. I think the bot lane should be able to hold itself okay. I think Triple should be able to handle Insanity fairly well, and I think Kumo could actually match up fairly well against Revenge, but I'm not looking forward to this jungle matchup versus Xerxes, because I don't know about you guys, but I respect Xerxes a lot. I think he's a very, very good jungler, and I think he's kind of slept on when talking about junglers in the league currently.
No, I mean, I do too. I mean, who else in this league could accidentally pick Kayn and still win on it? I mean, that's just, that's some nutty ability right there to flex with that move. Okay. So it's going to be tough. Mortals should be a tough matchup. They're a good team. I think anyone in playoffs ought to look out for them. Finally, final game of the week, of the season, potentially. Hopefully not. But the dead horse that everyone likes to beat up on, the masters of fallible logic themselves, Counter Logic Gaming.
You're jinxing us, Sandy. Stop.
The Chess Wizards of
There we go. Yep.
LOL Esports. The Bobby Fishers and the Gary Kasparovs.
The OG MSI finalists.
The 2015 Madison Square Garden LCS Summer Final champions. Logic Gaming. They are Logical Gaming. Rational Gaming. I'm gonna start an org that's just like called Rational Gaming, and I'll just be the antithesis to them. I'll run an org without putting up minute-long sponsored segments that just show me berating the team for going 0-3.
So you'll have no sponsors, only rookies,
yeah.
and you'll win every game ever.
I'll go 30-11 instead of 11-30. Or 11-31, I think they are. 31-11.
Yeah.
Okay. CLG.
Numbers.
This should be a dub. They're so bad. I'm sorry for yelling about this, but it's like this is a win. This has to be a win. Come on.
Yeah, no, it absolutely should be. There's absolutely no excuse for FlyQuest to be losing to this team right now. They are hot garbage right now. Even with DeMonte in the mid lane now, trying to pull them together. And
it's like, I love DeMonte, I really do, but it's like, throwing in a sub mid laner, final few weeks of the LCS season is not going to magically fix everything, and clearly it has not magically fixed everything. This is a must-win game, as they like to say out there.
Yeah.
So
it's the must-win game.
The must-win game.
And I'll add this. You guys want to know why we're going to go 2-1 this weekend?
Why are we going to go 2-1?
We're going to go 2-1 because we went 0-3 last week. And so, because of that, if we go 2-1 next weekend, we continue to keep our average of 1-2 for the entire year. It all comes together. It's
the curse,
baby.
The team has to have a 33% winning percentage, or otherwise the universe is imbalanced. Clearly, this is a sign from the gods above. From the Riot gods themselves. They have to go 2-1. Just beat GG, beat CLG. It's that simple. Let's just
you really look, to throw it back to last year, to quote a well-known professional LEC player who recently moved to the LCK for this season, Nemesis.
Technically he didn't move to the LCK.
He's a content creator for
he's just living in Korea.
Point is, just destroy the enemy nexus.
That's
all you got.
That's clearly all you.
How are we gonna win this game? Well, we'll destroy their nexus.
Clearly. Duh. It's that simple. Quick hit on the other playoff seeding real fast. So there are two upper bracket round 2 spots still up for grabs technically. 100 Thieves and TSM have a 2-game advantage right now, both at 28 wins, and then Cloud9 Evil Geniuses behind them at 26. And then Team Liquid is sitting at what are they at? 25 wins. Technically, Team Liquid could make it in, I think, but more likely one of those two of those top 4. Let me hear from Curly first. Which 2 of those 4 teams are going to be getting that all-important bye week?
Ooh, oh man, I wish I remembered my pickups. TSM, I remember TSM. Definitely going to be up there.
Okay.
TSM has a pretty easy week 9.
Yeah, I think TSM is going to be first seed, and I have 100 Thieves going 1 and 2, but I don't have C9 going 3 and 0 or EG, so it's still going to be TSM and 100 Thieves. Cool.
Yeah. So the very, very interesting thing is the very first match of this coming week is TSM versus 100 Thieves, which is the number 1 and number 2 matchup.
Huge
number
matchup.
one, however you want to phrase it, right? So this is a huge matchup depending on seeding. Honestly, whoever wins that one's probably getting the first seed. Like, this is literally a match for first seed right now, which is awesome, exciting. I can't wait to watch it. If I had to say my pick'ems early, I would probably say TSM's going to take it right now. I'm sorry, 100 Talk Pod, if you're listening right now, but I don't have faith in y'all. Y'all have looked very shaky.
Ooh.
So,
according to their tweet earlier, they are rebuilding their panic button tonight, live on stream.
I would too. So yeah, I think TSM will take first seed. I think 100 Thieves has probably got enough of a lead gap over Cloud9 and TL, because they also play Golden Guardians, which I think that should be a win, and they play EG, which even if that's a 1-2, like I don't think TL's, because TL plays EG. And then Immortals, who's also very good. I could see them dropping a game there. And then TL plays Cloud9 later in the week. And then, yeah, I don't see a world where basically either of these teams manage to make it into top two, because they all just they have some hard matchups somewhere in there. So they're going to take games off each other. And it's just going to allow TSM 100 Thieves to coast on through in the first and second.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to get spicy with it. And I'm going to say that TSM is going to be one of them, and then Evil Geniuses is going to leapfrog 100 Thieves.
Oh.
That is my spicy hot take. I mean, they are playing. They've got a tough road. Cloud9, TL, and 100 Thieves. However, my prediction is that final game, 100 Thieves on Sunday versus EG, that will be the one to decide who gets that final.
My internet is my Ethernet just decided to crap itself.
Oh, well, that's awkward.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone?
I think the stream is technically still live.
It's live again. It's live.
Rebooted.
It's now relive.
This is the Curly QQ show.
Well,
now,
boy, this is
gonna be fun to edit later.
Yeah, this has been a night of NA production, that's for sure. Let's wrap up the show then, so that I can put a hard cap on the audio. We all say 2-1. We all think TSM will make it through to the top 2 spot. It's going to be an exciting week 9, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. LEC also having a super week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They'll wrap up their regular season and move towards playoffs, so it's going to be a great week of League of Legends all around. LCK is coming up to a close real soon too, so that's where it is. This has been FlightCheck Season 1, Episode 19. You can find all our episodes in pure audio format on all of your favorite podcasting-related thingamajigs. I'm Sandy Toes, at SantosDB. That's Noxwart, Nox, WARR. That's Curly QQ, Curly _ double Q _. You can follow the show at FlightCheck Crew on Twitter. I post a lot of memes when we lose, because it's the only way that I know how to cope with the pain.
Popping lots of copium.
Yeah, lots of copium and lots of depression memes. So, if that's what you like, follow the show. We do this every Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Normally with less issues.
Normally we don't have Ethernet go out on us. 2-1, maybe a 3-0.
Hey, that'd be great.
It's going to be. And we'll see how it goes, and we'll see you guys next week for playoffs. Duh, because we'll have a whole playoff, week to talk about. How exciting is that? All right. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all real soon. Adios.
Stick around for the Leota interview.
Yeah, stick around for the Leota interview. It's happening right now.